TF Tech does the talking. I think it's a podcast. We've got the same crew again as the last week and the week before. We're still missing a Kai because he's American and lives on international rubbish time. So we're joined by Francesco in a Pathfinder shirt. Yeah, Pathfinder.
Yeah, Pathfinder.
And Alessio in, I'm going to guess, naked because he never goes on camera.
No, but yeah.
So, nay. Oh, I should pick a. Oh, I need to start using a picture of different pictures for your face now until you go on camera. Yes. So, what we're talking about today. So, we're going to be talking about delays because everything gets delayed. And I mean, I've been saying for over a year now that everything will get delayed due to COVID. The only things that don't get delayed are games that throw about 5 million bodies on something. The last topic will be linked to that, which is Activision Blizzard and them being threatening bastards. But before that, we'll be talking about GeForce Now leaks and a host of new announcements from THQ Nordic. So, starting with delays, and again, I've been saying everything gets delayed. COVID is natural. The infrastructure's not there to make it as easy to develop the games. So one of the most recent delays is Dying Light 2, which, well, in all fairness, it's been delayed about 5 years already. So that's not too bad. I mean, were any of you surprised about Dying Light 2?
No, of course not.
Well, I mean, it's a small delay this time, so it could have shipped maybe in December, but they are probably trying to get rid of some of the worst bugs, perhaps in order to avoid what happened to their Polish brethren at CD Projekt Red. So, but the good news is that they actually said this publicly, so there will be a press hands-on next month. So we have been invited as well. So
am I going?
We should be. If you want to go to London, yes. Sure.
Well, it's only down the road, so I can do that.
So
they're doing a live press event.
The world is changing again.
Jesus, what?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I might actually think about. Unless you're going to London, then obviously if we're invited, and I'm the only UK person really. So yeah, who knows? Because obviously it's more difficult for you getting into the country. What with the UK government being absolute morons.
Yeah, that's COVID restrictions are still in place somehow. Yeah. I mean, I have the green pass, so but yeah,
we'll see.
It's probably going to be you, and but I am cautiously optimistic that the game will turn out to be
decent.
Decent, yeah, at least. So there is that.
We touched upon it last time, but now obviously, Total War Warhammer 3 is also delayed, which I don't have any big issues about. I knew it was coming. But then again, I think everything is going to get delayed. Literally everything. And then obviously Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
That's a small delay, though. It's just around a month, I think. It's very small.
Yeah, but it's one of those games that usually do not get delayed because, as Chris said, they just throw a lot of people at it, and also with the previous release date, they were going to release ahead of Call of Duty, but now it will be afterward. So it is quite the change for EA. I'm sure they prefer to go before Call of Duty, but if they decided to delay it, I guess they had no choice.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, are there any other games? Yeah. I mean, I know before a few weeks back there was that MMO Lost Ark, is it? That was delayed.
Yes, but yeah, as you said, there has been a long streak of delays. I mean, delays were a thing even before COVID, but of course with COVID, it's even more prevalent. I think these days it's it's really hard for any game not to be delayed, especially AAA games, because I mean, usually AAA games get delayed at least once, if not twice. Just look at even Horizon Forbidden West was delayed, and as we all know, Naughty Dog games tend to be delayed. Also, Rockstar games tend to be delayed. They delayed GTA 5, for example, even the next gen.
I don't think Rockstar develop games anymore, do they? It's just expansions of GTA Online.
Yeah, they're DLC developers.
God. But yeah. Well, the good news is that we still have plenty to play. So, between new releases and even the huge backlog that most gamers should still have their libraries.
I've got a backlog stretching back about 7 years.
Yeah.
It's not a big issue in terms of.
It's for me. I don't have the time.
No, I mean faster delays are not a big issue.
Oh yeah.
You still have something to play.
Yeah, we're happy about the delays. We have more time.
Yeah. So yeah, it's extra delays are just expected. We know that. And something else.
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
I just wanted to say that all of these games have been delayed to early 2022. So basically, it's even more cramped than the last podcast.
Yeah, so I remember February a few years back being insanely cramped. That was when like Ubisoft released 2 of their own games in 1 month, and it was surrounded by like Metro and other games as well.
Yeah, I think it was 2018. I think.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
Between January and March, we got everything.
There are like 10 games releasing only in February, which is also the shortest month in the year, technically.
Well, be fair, I'll just review 5 of them. God.
Okay. Only 5 of them.
Yeah, I don't want to be too greedy. I'll just show me the list and I'll pick the best 5 and you can have the rest.
I can already imagine one you're going to pick.
Which one?
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, to be fair, I do want that. I did review the other Horizon.
Yeah.
I think Horizon's my baby.
I did review. I reviewed the DLC, so it's me or you. But I'm going to leave that to you. I already asked too much, so I'm going to. Yeah. So
I don't ask for
this
too
time
much.
around.
I really don't ask for too much. Usually the ones I ask for is nobody else wants anyway because nobody else plays strategy games.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have to give him some reasons to remember how to turn on the PS5. So
yeah, someone's going to have to remind me when it comes around to that date. Yeah. So speaking about the PS5, go on.
Yeah. No, just one last consideration on possible delays. Do you think Elden Ring will be delayed?
Yes.
That's the big.
I'm not sure because it's still rumors, but they had pretty much almost everything done last year. I read they were having troubles with testing mostly.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes because it's a big game during COVID. It's got to hit a delay. I think that's just part of the course now. But speaking of the PlayStation, I mean, they're not only PlayStation games, but the GeForce Now leaks. Like, I think, well, I've been saying for a long time now, every PlayStation game's coming to the PC. These leaks seem to indicate that. Talk us through it, Alessio.
Yeah.
Yeah. there were a great deal of games listed on a public GeForce Now database that was accessed a few days ago. And this included many games that are still unannounced, and more than that, they are also not far from confirmed to be coming to PC yet.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few surprises. Chiefly God of War, but also many other titles, and even a few that PC players would really pay with their own money to get the announcement, I think. But it doesn't really mean that we're getting all of those games.
We will.
Because probably at least some of them were like placeholder titles. I mean, that's at least what NVIDIA told me. We got a statement saying that the list included speculative titles.
Oh, yeah. It's not like we'll get every single game, but the ones that are specifically named, I think we know for a fact they are definitely going to be coming. Same as I said, all the PlayStation exclusives, just give them 2-3 years after launching on the console. It only makes sense to bring it to PC. It makes absolutely no sense not to, because people who want it on the console have already bought the console and bought it for the console.
Yeah, I mean, if we go down to it, for example, God of War is probably coming. I'd say before the sequel goes on the PS5, the first one will come to PC.
Yeah,
and then other Sony titles include Ghost of Tsushima and also even Demon Souls the remake, which has never been on PC, except for the emulator.
Yeah,
and also Returnal and Sackboy. So there is a few PlayStation games on that list, and I think you're right that they will eventually come. But for example, Returnal only released a while ago, not long ago. So I'd say one is still probably a few. So it's still far off from
I would
PC.
expect Returnal to come to PC, and I mean, I'll say it now. It's on record. I'm expecting Returnal the end of next year on the PC, because it gives it essentially 2 years on the console before it's on PC, and people have had time to buy the console and the game then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe I'm a little
interested
longer.
in like Metal Gear Solid 2 HD and things like that.
Well, I think they're coming anyway.
Yeah.
They just released a little while back. They released the original PC releases on GOG, so they're coming. There's no doubt about that.
They will. And I think the other thing I was interested in, if only for like a train wreck sort of thing, is Homefront. I know it's a placeholder name, but Homefront?
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's for example, I mean, Halo 5 is also in that list, but the developers said there are no current plans. So, like I said, a few games are probably not going to make it. For example, there's also Bayonetta 3, which is a Nintendo exclusive for now.
Which is that, sorry, again?
It is a Nintendo Switch
Bayonetta
exclusive.
3, yeah. Bayonetta 3, yeah.
Yeah, it's just not a Nintendo exclusive. Nintendo is paying for it, so it's not coming.
Yeah.
It's definitely not coming. And there's also Judgment from Sega. It's also not coming. I'm pretty sure of that. They have the problem with the main character played by the Japanese actor and the agency that doesn't want the game on PC, so it's probably not coming. It would be good, but it's not coming. I'm pretty sure of that.
I think that's going to be a weird one. It's it's a weird one. But
something that is coming is the Grand Theft Auto remasters, because we've had many rumors about that. So I'd say those are definitely coming. GTA trilogy remasters. So
then again, when it comes to Judgment, I mean, we've all heard news like the series is essentially over now. After we've just had Lost Judgment, and the series is done because of the actor and that issues.
It's still not confirmed, though. It's still a rumor.
Yeah, those are rumors,
So
but I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't know. Well, they can just keep the series with another main character.
Yeah, I think that's it. It wouldn't surprise me if the end of the series, if they can't port it to the PC, because the Yakuza games have been popular on the PC as well. It's one of those things. It's like, why would Sega work with an actor and continue a series if working with that actor limits the amount of money they can gain from the games? And I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah. They had the same issue with Kingdom Hearts, that they couldn't bring it to PC, I think, because of Disney, and now they brought it.
Yeah.
So there's still a chance they might be able to, but
there's
when
always
there are real life
when money's involved.
Yeah, but when it's about Japanese actor and talent agencies, that's a little more difficult.
Yeah.
They won't have full control of everything.
I think that's the thing, but there's always a chance when money's involved because people like money.
Something that's also definitely not coming, well, at least next year, is BioShock, which is listed as BioShock 2022 in the leak, but we know that's not going to happen because it was only announced like last year, and they said it's going to be in development for several years. So it's not happening yet. But other games are definitely happening, like Dragon Age 4, Dragon's Dogma 2, or Fable 4, and Gears 6, Crisis 4. Well, those are definitely coming, of course, to PC.
Yeah, it's funny about Dragon's Dogma 2 because we have had multiple leaks that talk about that, and we still don't have an announcement.
Same as everything in the industry.
Yeah, like 3 times. It's been leaked 3 times, but still no announcement.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe at the Game Awards could be.
Yeah.
God, the fucking Game Awards.
I'm looking forward to it. Possibly with co-op, it could be a great game.
Well, the game itself, I'll go with that. I just think in the Game Awards, I'm not interested in the game advertisements. They don't, no, not for Chris.
You don't like the Dorito Pop?
He's a prick. That's all I need to say. He's not even good. He's not even a games journalist. He's just a face. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a games journalist. I'm just a random pleb who doesn't know fuck all, but I'm still better than that prick. And I'll say that to his face. But yeah. It's not that I have opinions on these things. So
no.
Speaking of games anyway, and moving on from what could be new games on all the PC, let's have a look at all the new games from THQ Nordic, which I believe you got to have a look at early on, Alessio.
Yes, there was a remote presentation. Well, we didn't get that much info, but there are a few interesting games coming. Mostly from all those old school franchises that have been scooped up in the latest years by THQ Nordic and by Embracer as a whole. So they have Outcast 2. It's coming, I'd say relatively soon, probably because it's close to alpha, and they've been working on it since late 2018. It's being handled by the same studio of the original.
Yeah, I think if they just polish it better. That was my only issue with the first Outcast.
Yeah, it was one of the very first open world games, possibly, when it landed 20 years ago. And they said that basically they are looking to expand and realize that through Vision with next generation hardware, it will be only on new consoles and PC.
Yeah.
So hopefully they take advantage of that, and the protagonist will be the same one.
It's going to be on
Basically,
a
they
fucking
have
Zimmer frame now. It's been 20 years. Man's
sorry?
old. Same protagonist. It's been 20 years. Man's going to be on a Zimmer frame.
Actually, they have kind of a plot explanation for that. Is that at the end of the first game, he basically goes back to Earth, or is supposed to go back to Earth, but something doesn't work, and he's basically stuck in the teleport or something. So he's frozen in time, and when he is unfrozen, basically 20 years have passed, but not for him. So that's the excuse in the
I would have
Easy way out.
I would have preferred to have a main character who's like really old and decrepit and using a Zimmer frame. We have to plod along it like even slower than Death Stranding. Somehow, if that's possible.
Okay, but yeah, Outcast 2 is one I'm looking forward to, and also Jack the Lions 3 is coming finally.
Yeah,
And
I like the Jagged Alliance games.
Yeah, it's being developed by Emimont, which is the studio behind Surviving Mars and Victor Vran and Tropico.
Yeah, Hamermont's a decent enough studio. I mean, same. They're very varied in what they do, and yeah, the Victor Vran game, decent enough. Surviving Mars, I reviewed that. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, and they said it's it's still quite early in development. Basically, it's going to be featuring a lot of freedom in how to roam all this country of Grand Chien, which is fictional, of course. And apparently, your decisions in the game also affect how the plot unfolds. So there is kind of an RPG element to it as well. And also, for the first time in the franchise, I think it's going to have a co-op multiplayer mode. So it's going to be interesting.
You know my thoughts on that already. As long as I don't want co-op, I don't want other people ruining my game time. Other people are horrible. No offense meant, but it's like
It can work. It can work. Like even they're doing that in role-playing games now.
Yeah.
Like Larian has done it for Divinity Original Sin 2. They're doing that for Baldur's Gate 3, I think.
I know it can
work,
but
it can work, but it depends on the developer how they can.
Yeah. Also
how they
depends on the
structure the
other
whole thing.
person. I don't mind playing with people if like I know them and they're not going to dick around. But if you had a co-op where you've just put with some random pleb who wants to do things they're like stupid fast, it's like I like to engross myself in the lore. I remember that being an issue in the very original Guild Wars, where people are always trying to skip cutscenes, and I'm like, fuck off and die. I'm trying to listen to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's the same as everything. THQ Nordic have got so many IPs now. I mean, they bought everything. It's Embracer.
Yeah, they're also remaking the second Destroy All Humans game. They are making a new SpongeBob game, and also other two interesting games coming up are Helix 2 and Expeditions Rome, I think.
I've seen that as well.
Is a game I think you reviewed the Expeditions Viking, right, Chris?
Yeah, I played all the other two games. Started with the Expeditions Conquistador and then Expeditions Vikings, yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Expedition Rome. I did get a look at it a while back. Just like a quick video presentation was sent, and it looks good. I mean, that was very early though, where things are still concept art.
Yeah, they have, I'd say, a nice lineup of AA games. Clearly not big budget, but
How dare you say that about SpongeBob SquarePants?
It doesn't need the big budget. It
He's
only needs
quadruple
the
A.
It only needs the name to sell, I think.
Yeah, no, there's a good lineup, and it's same as everything with THQ Nordic and a lot of those developers and publishers. I like their output because they can experiment, they can do something a little different, and obviously they can do things the same as well, but you get some variety out of them compared to the AAA developers who, well, they follow the same trend over and over and over and over again until something gets popular by the indie or AA, and then 10 years later, we start to see AAA developers jump on the bandwagon. The prime example of that being roguelikes and the whole looping. Like, it's took them... How long has it been since they became popular and we finally got, like, Returnal and Deathloop and games like that? Like,
Yeah.
Well, Deathloop is technically not a roguelike, but yeah.
True. I just said it's the looping. And to be fair, I've not played it, so I'm just saying it for the sake of it, Deathloop.
Yeah,
But
and they're also
Returnal
very
counts.
popular. Hades has won so many awards, and that's pretty much a roguelike. A different type of roguelike, but it has won so many awards. I never thought I'd see roguelike become popular.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're not really accessible.
No, they can. Yeah.
Most of them, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, many games are doing roguelite instead of roguelite.
Yeah.
Those are accessible. So yeah, but it's interesting because they, one thing they have going for them is the replayability factor with the often procedural generation of the map and whatnot. So I guess that's something that many other genres are also looking at.
I'm trying to
to
think now,
increase.
what's the first really popular roguelike or roguelite? Real Binding of Isaac, maybe? I mean, obviously there was Rogue itself, but that's way too long ago to think about.
Yeah. Well, I think Darkest Dungeon was very, very popular. It was the first game I reviewed. It was the first game I reviewed. So it's been a very long time since it's been released. But I think it was quite popular. They're making a sequel, so it has to be. Yeah. And that's not really an accessible game in my opinion. It's complex enough to be a true roguelike and not a roguelike.
Yeah.
I don't know the sequel though, if they made some changes to make it a little easier or more accessible. I don't know. But the first one, yeah, it wasn't exactly an easy game to get into.
I don't really have anything else to say about THQ.
I don't think so. You can go on to your final rant.
This is all yours.
I don't know what you mean. I never rant. I never rant about Activision Blizzard being a company of cunts and the fact that Bobby Kotick is the devil. I mean, I rant about Ubisoft as well, but Ubisoft are trying their damnedest to just keep their head under the radar at the moment. But we all know the issues that happened at Activision Blizzard quite well, all too recently, and they've been going on for years and years and years. And that's before I get started on the fact that they fire people in the middle of a pandemic when they're making them more money than ever before. Bobby Kotick, you ruthless, heartless cunt. And nice me. So, yeah, the recent news. It's a follow-on to the allegations, well, last month, the month before. Time goes quickly. But Activision Blizzard are now intimidating, or it's alleged. I believe it wholeheartedly, and I will say, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, I believe it. But it's alleged that Activision Blizzard are intimidating all their workers to essentially stop them from unionizing. Because how dare workers have a voice in, help workplace safety and, essentially not wanting to kill yourself at work. Yeah. So, yeah, they've been accused of committing labour violations. They're threatening employees from talking about what's happening at work and what's happened. and they're doing their damnedest to threaten people to not join unions, which is par for the course in America. America's terrible, and yeah, so yeah, but I mean, really digging into it, employees aren't allowed to talk about wages, hours, working conditions, all the harassment issues that have been going on. Activision Blizzard are being very stringent on social media, what people can and can't say, and they're watching them. If people are talking on social media, the management are threatening them or disciplining them, and essentially just or warning them in a very overt way. They've threatened or disciplined people, all alleged, we'll say. They've threatened or disciplined people who've actually done any of these things, even talking about wages, hours, and conditions. And apparently, they've been illegally surveying their employees. So, yeah. It's a whole slate of things which makes me just think it would be better if we just took an SAS group into the headquarters and shot the fucking lot of them. Anybody else any thoughts about that?
You already said everything, really. What there is to add? They're just behaving in a way that it's just unacceptable.
Yeah. I really hope the state of California nail the bastards to the wall. I hope they fine them billions.
Yeah, hopefully the industry as a whole will start being more open about unions, because I think, as you said, maybe it's part of the American culture, but not to have unions. But here in Europe, unions are very, very widespread usually in most industries. So I'd say it's really important for developers to come together and demand to make unions and to be allowed to stand up for themselves in an organized way. So hopefully that will change over time, and maybe issues like crunch will be diminished eventually.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue. The American way, like they've busted unions over about 100 years ago, or however long it was. Not that long, about 100, we'll say. And even in England, where unions were a big thing 50 years ago, 40, 50 years ago, it's only until recently that there's been a game developers union made in Britain. So I mean, we've gone too far down the American way, and the thing is, like, crunch has been happening here in Britain, where Rockstar over GTA and Red Dead. So even in the UK, they're getting away with it, and in Europe, where we know about Cyberpunk, that yeah, even with over a year's worth of crunch, despite the developers saying no crunch at all, and we know for a fact there was over 12 months worth of crunch, constant. Like, the game still turned out shit. Management, that's the problem. I get so angry about the industry. I love games, but the industry itself is rotten to the core at the moment. Or the big ones, the really big companies are. So, again, I'll say it again. Ubisoft, they've done. It was only when the Activision things came out and Ubisoft employees are saying the same thing that the management have just not listened to them. They've not made any changes. And this is a culture. This is a company where even worse than Activision things happened, where people were literally raped. So something needs to be done. I don't know what, but something does.
Yeah, definitely. It's not really acceptable in any way. So hopefully people will speak up and make those responsible accountable.
Mm.
What they've done.
And on that happy note, no, it does piss me off. Everybody knows what I feel about it, and that's why I tend to be the one when I'm free and not dealing with other things. Why I tend to be the one on the site who's writing, essentially calling all the companies a set of bastards who need to change. Because I don't care what the companies think about me. That's why I still don't care that Activision Blizzard Activision have blacklisted me. Because, crack on, blacklist me. I don't give a shit. I don't play your games anyway unless the last time I paid any money to Activision Blizzard was Diablo 3 when I bought that new. And I pre-ordered it, and then that launched, and I never spent a penny since. But I did review Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which I gave it a good score because it's a decent game. So I can be impartial. And on the note of games, what are you both playing, if you can talk about them?
Oh, there's always something I can talk about.
We don't need to. We know you don't want to talk about your sexually transmitted infections, but
no. I'm still kind of playing Lost Judgment that I reviewed last week, and I'm trying to complete all the mini games because there are a lot of those mini games, side cases, mini games. It's a very good game. I really liked it. I'm not a huge fan of Yakuza, to be honest. I like some of them. I don't like some of them, but Lost Judgment, I really liked it. I have to be honest. I did not really play the first one. I just tried it out a couple times. But now I'm going back to play the first one as well because I like the second so much. Yeah, so I've read some people that say that the first one is even better than the second one. So I'll see for myself.
I need to buy.
I'll see for myself. Yeah, the second one is good. I really liked. I pretty much liked everything about it. Yeah, graphics are a bit last gen, but everything else I really liked it. Yeah, so I need to delve deeper into the first one now.
You need to be playing all the Yakuza games as well.
Yeah, that's one more thing I was thinking about.
One of the few series I adore.
Yeah, I have to start from the very beginning. Luckily, they're on PC, so it's going to be a little easier.
Yeah,
I don't have to get more consoles. They're on PC. Yay, PC gaming! Hooray for PC gaming!
Gold. How about you, Alessio?
Well, I've been playing the Call of Duty Vanguard beta, the open beta, which is now available on all platforms this weekend. So anyone can try it. And to be honest, I'm not impressed because I think it's not really, I mean, it's just a regular Call of Duty, but it doesn't really have anything that really stands out, I think. I mean, they added a few things like, for example, blind fire. You can now blind fire when you are behind cover, but whenever are you going to be behind cover in Call of Duty? Almost never. So it's not really a tactical type of game. It's still very much fast paced and still I just don't think it's going to be a big success this year. I think Battlefield, if they can deliver a fairly polished release, it's going to be more successful possible. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's why I sort of enjoyed Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War when I played it, is the fact that I'd avoided playing a Call of Duty game for quite a while. And because they were always the same. So it's like having time off does refresh it. Yeah, it makes it a bit easier. So I have no intentions of playing Vanguard. If I review it, I'll play it. But other than that, ain't no chance. But other than that, when I've had more than a second to actually do anything, I was playing a horror game, Tormented Souls. I think I mentioned it the last podcast. And
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing that. I finished that. I'm writing up the review. Well, I've had 3 days where I couldn't do anything, but other than that, it's like I don't know. I'm not really playing anything. I'll pick up and I'll literally finish writing this review and pick another game to just start and play. I'm looking forward to Football Manager 2022. So yeah, that's coming out in November, and I'm fairly sure Alessio's probably got something for me to play somewhere. Otherwise, I'll pick something.
Well, actually, I think you've already agreed to do Diablo 2 Resurrected, so
I
another
have,
Blizzard
but
game.
I don't have it yet. So until
Yeah, I
that
know.
point, yeah, I know. Yeah, I
It's going to
suppose.
be.
And I played a hell of a lot of the original Diablo, so it makes sense. And chances are I'm going to end up buying Lost Judgment to play that because I love Yakuza and Judgment.
Yeah, it's very good. I recommend it.
I pretty much love everything by the Ryoga Gotoku studio.
Yeah, really. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, to be honest. As I said, I'm not a huge Yakuza fan. I'm going to play them now.
I should have been reviewing it then.
Well, sorry, I did not know. I didn't know you were such a big fan.
Don't worry, I'm not fussed. Yeah, the first time I played a Yakuza game was Yakuza 3. So then I ended up having to go back to play the old ones, and I've played every single one since then.
Yeah, well, at least they got a new fan now, because I really.
Yeah, and there we go. So it's actually worked out for the best.
Yeah, definitely for them, definitely, because I'm going to buy 10 games now. I don't know how many Yakuza are there, 8, 9.
Well, you don't need
count.
Well, you'll not be playing Dead Souls because I'm guessing you don't have a PS3 available.
I do have a PS3 available.
Okay, then you need to buy Yakuza Dead Souls as well, even though it's it's not a Yakuza game, the sort of general thing. Yeah, there's a few, but you don't need to play every. So, Yakuza Kiwami 2, they are just remakes of the original and Yakuza 2, so you don't need to play. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's a case of play every single one you can.
Yeah, that was the plan anyway.
Good.
It will probably take me 2 years to go through all of them, but we'll do it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Go, Francesco.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that, I think that's everything from me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, thank you all for joining us, and obviously we will see you